Your message is important to us. Please hold. Your message is important to us. Please hold. Your message is important to us. Please hold.
Looking for great value home insurance? Don't go online for an anonymous corporation who takes your money and abandons you. Choose High House, your local insurance company. High House Insurance don't pay to be on comparison websites, so your premiums are better value. For a free, no-obligation quote, call 606 552. High House Insurance. Local, reliable insurance. High Street, Selsey.
Listening today to Selsey Internet Radio, and in the studio we have Lynn to read what's on, or even talk about what's on even. So there you are, Lynn. Hello, my darling. How are you?
Hello, how are you? That's more to the point. How are you today?
Oh, I'm super.
You're looking good,
Yes.
Dennis. You're always looking good.
Is it califragilis? Is it
Supercalifragilistic.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yes.
Little question, Dennis. Is it Selsey or is it Selsey?
Well, S-E-Y, Selsey, Bermondsey.
Is it Selsey with
Hornsey.
a Z?
Is it a Z?
Or is it Selsey? Well, we've got lots going on this week in Selsey. On Tuesday the 4th of August, we've got the Writers' Circle, meeting on the first Tuesday of every month, as usual, at the Selsey Club in Cox's Road. So they meet between 2:30 and 4:30. There's always a warm welcome and beverages are available. If you need any more information on that, you can contact Alex Palmer on 606 591 or our Pat Reed on 601 550. I think they do come up with some good stories now and again, don't they, the Writers' Circle?
They do.
Yeah.
It's about time they came back in here to do another one.
Come on, Pat, where are you?
Yeah, Pat, you said you were going to ring me.
Now. You get on and do it, girl. You can ring her, though, Dennis, on 601 550. And on Wednesday, the 5th of August, Movies for Youth presents Two-Way Stretch, starring Peter Sellers. I loved that man, I really did. And Bernard Cribbins and David Lodge. Held at the Town Hall, doors open 6:30pm. And the film starts at 7 o'clock. Admission is free.
Ah.
So that's good, isn't it?
It is
free
good.
admission for a film, that's not bad.
Mm.
Well,
Well.
if they had free tea, we'd be there, wouldn't we?
Oh, the free tea connection.
That would be good.
Yeah.
On Wednesday the 5th to the 11th of August, we've got Artstream presenting Tonight at the Pavilion with Charlie Chaplin. This is an amazing opportunity for the revival of the Pavilion in Selsey to coincide with the celebration of the Chaplin centenary. Ticket prices are £10, with concessions for seniors over 65 and for children under 16 being £9. You can get your tickets from High House Insurance at 121 in the High Street, and full ticket details and further information can be found on Artstream 2013 selsey.weebly.com. Weebly spelled W-E-E-B-L-Y. So it's Artstream 2013 selsey.weebly.com.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Tuesday. Plonk and Ploughman's Quiz. Oh, that sounds good. But I'm moving on. On Thursday the 6th of August, the popular summer youth drop-in with lots of activities for ages 10 to 16 at the Selsey Centre Manor Road, 2:30 to 5:30, and the admission for that is £1. But there's lots for the kiddies to do from 10 to 16 years old, and it gives you mums a bit of a rest, I think.
Yes, you mums.
Yes, you mums.
Where are you?
We need you in the studio telling us about things that you're planning and plotting. That's what we need. On Thursday the 6th of August, the Plonk and Ploughman's Quiz. Yum.
Of course.
Arranged by Seal Island WI at the Selsey Centre. The cost is £6.50 a head for tables of 6. And it includes the Ploughman's Supper and 1 bottle of wine per table. Tickets can be obtained from Amanda's Hobby Hideout in the High Street there, and doors open at 6:30pm, eyes down at 7pm. So, Plonk and Ploughman's Quiz.
Do they still do those ploughman's luncheons of a huge piece of cheese and that?
Yeah, of course they do. That's quite a traditional English thing, isn't it? Yeah. I love it. And pickled onions.
And yes.
Yeah, lovely. And a bit of apple.
And a bit of apple.
Lovely.
Yes.
Yes. Just like for a picnic.
Just sounds right for 12 o'clock, that one.
We could do with a picnic. I think we should arrange a picnic in Selsey. We could have a Selsey picnic day. OK, Selsey Events will be doing a Selsey picnic day. You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here.
Friday the 7th of August to the 10th of August, Summer Exhibition of the Arts, an exhibition of glass paintings, rope work, sculpture, sugar art and textiles, etc. and a programme of different demonstrations every day. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? With refreshments being available in the large hall in the Selsey Town Hall from 10 to 4 p.m. with free entry. And that runs from the 7th of August to the 10th of August. It could be interesting, that one. I'd like to see the sugar art being done. I love to watch that. How people make things, with
bags of sugar.
With bags of sugar, yes. Again on the 7th of August to the 10th of August. You sounded so excited. Selsey Camera Club Annual Exhibition are holding an exhibition of prints and digital images in the exhibition room at the Town Hall. This event coincides with the Arts and Crafts Groups display in the large hall to create a major arts attraction. Wow. Please note the opening times are Friday from 12 noon to 4 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday 10 to 4 and Monday from 10 till 12. Admission charges for adults is £1 and the children can go in free. So that's the Selsey Camera Club annual exhibition. Lots of photos and prints to be seen.
Buddy journalists and that should be all right, yeah.
It should be good, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you always get a good photograph in Selsey wherever you go. There's so many views to see.
I can just imagine them coming in with these telephone camera things. Is this all right?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a selfie.
I've got a stick for it as well.
A selfie? I've got a selfie.
No, but you can get some lovely views in Selsey, Dennis, can't you?
You can.
Anywhere. And the skies are beautiful. I keep saying it. Somebody should do a Selsey Skies calendar through the months.
You can get a terrific action shot if you just go further along to the concrete blocks, fall back a bit. You'll get a terrific shot of the coastline just disappearing.
Yes, Dennis. I was thinking more of sunsets and sunrises. You're so romantic, or not?
I know.
No.
It comes really out.
Oh, dear. Saturday the 8th of August.
Oh, Saturday, yes.
A 5k prom race. Oh, that's not for me. Runners of all abilities are welcome, although it might be for me. Meet at 9 o'clock at the Oval Field, and that's free entry. I should think so too. I'm not going to pay to run 5k. I don't know about you. A 5k prom race. It sounds good. Runners of all abilities welcome. So go and give it a go. Could be good.
Right.
Could start you off on a new hobby.
I've got enough.
So many runners today, isn't there? Out and about.
Yeah,
so many runners.
Yes.
So little time. Saturday the 8th of August, Selsey Cancer Relief Fund will be holding a jumble sale from 10 to 12 noon in the Methodist Church Hall. Donations of jumble would be gratefully received. I haven't been to a good old-fashioned jumble sale in ages. I think we were saying that a couple of weeks ago, weren't we? That'd be good. Inquiries to Mrs. Penny Hess on 604 339, and that's the Selsey Cancer Relief Fund, so it's all in a good cause.
That's good.
Yeah. Again on Saturday the 8th of August, a coffee morning held in the Medical Centre by Cancer Support from 10 to 12 noon. Tea, coffee, cake and biscuits will be provided, and the session will be an informal one. So you could hop from one of those to the other. You could go to the coffee morning at the Medical Centre at 10 o'clock and you could hit the Selsey Cancer Relief Fund for the jumble sale at 11. That would be good, wouldn't it? You could hop them both.
If that's how you're going to go, yeah.
Both for cancer, so that's good. Saturday the 8th again, why not go along and join in the Family Fun Day from 12 noon to 5, held at the British Legion Club in the High Street.
Yeah.
Everybody's welcome there. There will be a bouncy castle, a raffle, a tombola, face painting, a barbecue, plus a strawberries and cream tea and much more. Strawberries and cream tea. I know.
Oh, yeah.
And much more, it says here. I think they are always on the lookout for people to go in and help, so just go in and make yourself known. It would be good. But it's going to be a fun day for the whole family.
Good.
Again, in the evening on Saturday the 8th, the Selsey Lions Club will be having a summer party at the Academy in School Lane, starring Forever Young with music, dancing, barbecue and fun, starting at 7:30 p.m. Admission is £8.50, including a barbecue hot dog. Woo!
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. On Sunday the 9th of August, the Carers Car Boot Sale is from 7:30 to 1 o'clock at the Academy School in School Lane. Again on Sunday the 9th of August, beer and rounders, woo, at the Selsey Cricket Club, Recreation Club. The pay bar and food all day make up a team of 7 players, or just go along to watch and enjoy the day. It starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, but to book your team, contact either 604 924 or 602 148. So won't you just get your family along there? Join 2 families together and go and have a game of rounders.
Indeed.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
Sounds good.
On Sunday the 9th again, the skate park at East Beach are holding a BMX tracks day with races and competitions for all ages. That starts at 11 o'clock and goes on till 1 o'clock, and the entry charge is £1. Well, that's good, isn't it? Because they haven't done anything down there for a long while on that BMX track, you know. So it's good to see that being used. Yeah, it's good to see that it's
an amenity.
Used. Yes, of course. And I know there's lots of kiddies out there, lots of you youngsters will want to go along to that. Starting at 11 o'clock, you have to pay £1 to get in, but go and have a go around the BMX track. On Monday the 10th of August, Dance and Tone at the Selsey Centre, a fun-filled class with easy dance routines to your favourite songs. It's suitable for all ages, and it's normally £4, but it's free as an introductory offer. And that goes from 9:30 to 10:30am in the morning. Gosh, get up and dance, eh? Get up and dance.
The Chinese do that, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah.
They get up and dance. Yeah. I know they do. Yeah, they do actually. They do things in the morning. Yeah, they do. Well, it's not a bad thing. Not a bad way to start the day, I suppose. Please note that on Friday the 7th of August, it's the last date for booking for the Wine and Cheese evening, being held on Thursday, August the 20th at the Selsey Centre, where you're invited to come along and meet Ian Brennan, the Royal Sculptor, and hear his talk entitled Ashes to Royal Commissions. Selsey U3A have organised the event. Full details and bookings are available from High House Insurance in the High Street. Telephone 211101. There's a full week now of different events that will be occurring. Yep. You want holidays first, I know that, but the mention is special after the very successful Christmas Day community lunch last year. It's going to be happening again this year in the town hall.
Right.
Lunch will be at 1 o'clock, followed by entertainment and the Queen to finish at 3:30. Not that the Queen's going to be there, but you can listen to her on the television.
Damn good stuff, that, getting the Queen there.
No, that would be good, wouldn't it? But no, I think she's probably busy that day, you know, with the corgis and things.
Yeah.
You can have a traditional meal or there's a vegetarian option. It is free, but we take a collection for the British Legion. Transport is provided and it's for all ages, so anybody that's going to be on their own Christmas Day and won't have a lunch cooked for you, get yourselves along there, because they do a good lunch, these guys, and it's a good day all round.
Right.
Already they've had promises of balloons, financial help and volunteers, and Julia's Kitchen dinner provide the food, but we need volunteers before the day to do admin and prep of food, fundraising, organising, entertainment and all that kind of thing.
Yep.
And on the day, people to do jobs and be with others. We especially need people who like to have a chat, she says, so people that like to talk to people, that's good. So a date for your diary, Thursday the 24th of September at 6pm at Selsey Fire Station, when anyone interested in helping is welcome to come to an hour's introduction. We're sure there's going to be lots of people there, but please put the date in your diary and put Christmas Day down there too if you're free to go and help. That would be wonderful. In the studio today we have the lovely Jane Cunningham, who is the project officer for the Manhood Peninsula Partnership. Good morning, Jane.
Morning, Lynn. Many thanks for having me on this morning.
Well, you're very welcome. I'm sure you've got lots of interesting things to tell us.
Well, I hope so.
One of which could be, what is the Manhood Peninsula Partnership?
That's a very good start. The Manhood Peninsula Partnership was formed in 2001 and it was in response to local residents' concerns about surface water management issues on the Manhood Peninsula, specifically in Numbirdum in this first instance. The people concerned approached the various decision-making organisations such as Chichester District Council, West Sussex, the Environment Agency and Southern Water, and realised that although each of these individual organisations had their own policies and practices in place, they didn't necessarily talk to each other. There wasn't necessarily that much cross-pollination. So one of these people who was interested was Renee Santima, and she's a Dutch person. She was over here with her husband who was working in one of the horticultural industries, and she herself was a Dutch water management specialist. She's an engineer.
Wow.
And the other person interested was Carolyn Cobbold, who is a risk management journalist. And Renee worked for an organisation called NIROF, which is a Dutch water management organisation. Once a year they would take a week out of the office and do what they termed blue sky thinking. And Carolyn and Renee decided it would be a really good idea to get the local authorities sufficiently interested in what they had to say to invite them over to the Manhood Peninsula for a week.
Right.
And this is what they did. So in March 2001 at Ernley Concourse, they held the first what was termed Going Dutch event, and this was entitled Going Dutch on the Manhood Peninsula, which is also the title of the booklet that was produced at the end of it.
Okay.
The workshop involved 28 Dutch and British planning, infrastructure, coastal and environmental management experts, and they all examined the complex and diverse issues facing the area and came up with a number of recommendations and conclusions, which are also in this booklet.
Oh, okay.
The aims of the MPP, well, the MPP itself was formed as a consequence of that meeting, or those meetings over a series of several days. And one of which was to set up an overbody. At the end of this week, this Going Dutch week, one of the recommendations was to start a group which, although didn't necessarily have any clout in its own right, was an association of the people who did, who could therefore raise issues between themselves or with whom the general public could raise issues. What a good idea. So the Manhood Peninsula Partnership was set up, and they produced a terms of reference. We updated it last year. And the aims of the MPP are to ensure the sustainable development of the peninsula for the benefit of future generations, which sounds a bit highfalutin, but that's the inevitable consequence of many decisions that are made, not just here, but in many coastal regions, because coastal regions do have their own difficulties.
So are we talking about things like sea defences?
Not necessarily sea defences, because that's looked after by the Environment Agency. Certainly if there were queries, it can be a forum for that.
Okay.
But for sea defences, the best people to approach in the first instance are the coastal management team at Chichester District Council, because they have responsibility. Well, they don't necessarily have responsibility, but they are closely involved with that. And through them you can get through to the Environment Agency and raise any issues that you might have. The sorts of things that the Manhood Peninsula Partnership would become or have become involved with are the issues that affect the coast in terms of sea level change and climate change.
All right.
And we've been involved with a number of projects over the years which have looked at those closely. The first one the MPP became involved with was ESPACE. Don't ask me what that acronym stands for.
I was just going to say, what's that?
But no, let's not go there. It's a French acronym as far as I'm aware. But it was a European project, and within that project, the Manhood Peninsula was looked at as a case study, and out of that came some land drainage studies produced by Haskoning, who's the partner engineer for CDC. And those land drainage studies were very interesting at the time, but they really came into proper use last year when Operation Watershed started, and they started to look at water management for the Manhood Peninsula.
Right. So
we were able to provide them with this benchmark of information.
Very important project for us around here, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a while ago.
It's quite a large area, isn't it, the Manhood Peninsula? It's 16 villages or something I think they've got in there. I was looking at it the other day. It's a very large area to cover.
It's a large area, and it has quite a complex coastline. On the one hand, you have Chichester Harbour, which is a protected area over to the west.
Yes.
On the east, you have Pagham Harbour.
Yes.
Along that entire stretch, in between Pagham and Chichester, you have areas which are prone to either erosion or
something like
flooding or similar. The newest area of interest both to people and to animals is the Medbury Managed Realignment, and that's linked with Pagham because the RSPB now manage both.
Yes.
And
it's quite an interesting little place we live in, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
There's lots of smoothhound sharks found a couple of weeks ago when 50 plus locked up in Medmurray. And
my worry on that was whether the bigger fish were going to come and eat the big fish. That was my worry on that one, Jane.
Well, let's hope it
the
wasn't
bigger
deep enough.
fish stay where they are. The climate changes would come in there, wouldn't they? Jane, what exactly do you do in your job? What does a project officer do?
Well, what the project officer does is look at the interests of all the different parties, look around at the funding pots that are available, try to determine what we can do that would match up with the funding streams available, and seek out projects. And that includes talking to the various parishes and to Selsey Town Council, more specifically in the most recent instance, and find out what people are interested in doing.
So what have you got planned?
Well, what we have planned, we've got the Sea and Salad Fair, which crops up at the end of August.
Yes.
We also have a rain garden happening at Selsey, which is happening in association with Lizard Landscape. And there again, that's tapping into the Operation Watershed finance stream to look at alternative ways of looking at land drainage. So we came up with this particular scheme, which is, you see a lot of them in the States, you don't see so many of them in this country.
What is it? What's a rain garden?
A rain garden essentially takes heavy rainfall, keeps it in an enclosed area and lets it dissipate naturally. That's the sort of thing which can be accommodated via a swale, which is very similar to, which is essentially a dip filled with gravel. What we do is add plants so it looks better. And the Manhood Wildlife and Heritage Group will be taking on management of that when it finally happens, which will be later this year.
Where do you think that will be?
That's in Manor Green Park by the Selsey
interesting
Centre.
to watch. Yes, that will be interesting to watch in that little park.
Oh, we'll have an information board up as well, so that even if you can't tell what you're looking at, then we'll have something that tells you what you are looking at.
Yes, that's great. Tell me something about the Sea and Salad Fair. That sounds really interesting.
Well, the Sea and Salad Fair, that was thought up by CDC's Economic Development Department, and the reason it surfaced this year was because although it's run in previous years, there hasn't been an opportunity to do it for a number of years now. It used to be a very popular event, and this time around they had somebody to look at it, i.e. me. So what I did was look at who would possibly be interested in selling produce there, who would be interested in doing exhibitions, and it's within the exhibitions that I think we're going to see a lot of the most interesting things happening.
Like what kind of things have you got going on there? Where is it going to be held, first of all?
Well, first off, it's going to be on East Beach Green in Selsey, Sunday the 23rd of August 2015, between 10 o'clock and 4 p.m.
Whoa.
And it's one of many events forming part of the Selsey Festival. There will be opportunities to try snorkelling and paddleboarding.
Wow.
We have local people doing the snorkelling. Mulberry divers are going to roll up and take people for try-it snorkels, should you wish to make yourself available. Lynn Reeve, who I'm speaking to here, is doing a pirate trail around East Beach Pond, and people will be invited to follow that. We will also have quite a lot that looks at the maritime heritage of the area. We have the Hanson White Trust Group for Maritime Archaeology. Sounds long-winded, doesn't necessarily sound most interesting, but they have this fabulous bus which has a permanent exhibition for this year on underwater wrecks and so on in the Solent.
That does sound interesting.
And it's going to tell you all about that. They also do lots of outreach activities for children. That's what they're geared up to do. So come along there and meet archaeology, who apparently will be out there.
Great. I'll eat a lobster or two, eh? Do you get lobsters?
I sincerely
sure you will.
hope so. I sincerely hope
I'm
so.
sure you will.
We've also got the Marine Conservation Society. They'll be doing a mini beach clean. This is to complement the beach cleans that happen in September around the coast.
Yes.
But this involves telling you what you need to pick up.
Okay.
basically, and there might be some identification courses a wee bit later, but we'll see how it all
What do you
plays
mean
out
by
on
an
the day.
identification course?
Identification courses when you're looking at bugs and beasties that live on
Oh,
rocks and
okay.
under
Oh,
stones,
that'd be good for the
seaweed, all that
kiddies.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
What do you see when you're on the seashore?
Yes.
Is it an animal? Is it something that's growing there?
Yes.
Is it something you really need to stick in a plastic bag and take
Okay,
away?
well, that would be really good trail, actually, for children.
I
wouldn't
hope
it? That
so,
would make
yes.
some
Well,
kind
hopefully
of...
it should complement the pirate trail.
Actually, we could get
nicely.
that going with the children. I think that would be a good thing to do.
That would be a lovely thing to do.
Yeah, I think
it really
so.
would.
That we tie it up with that, the maritime.
Yeah,
that'd be
most
good.
certainly.
We could try that, couldn't we? But it does sound really, really interesting.
Well, to date we have 27 stalls coming along.
Yeah.
They've been booked through Love Selsey, and
Lovely.
unfortunately I didn't have time to do everything myself.
No.
So I had to ask Love Selsey,
Yes.
who do a lot of things locally, not just in Portsmouth area, but also in West Sussex. And they've been organising stalls. They have 27 approved. They have
Wonderful.
3 penciled in, so hopefully 30 plus on the day.
That'd be
Should
wonderful.
anybody else be interested in coming along, then please let me know, let Lynn know, and I'll get in touch with Love Selsey
Yes, of
for you.
course, Love
Pass your
Selsey.
info on to them.
Yeah, definitely. And you can book your stall with them as well.
Yeah, most certainly. In addition, there will be food, and there will also be music.
Yeah, there'll
in
be
the
live
evening,
music
which
in
will
the
be lovely.
evening.
Yay!
And that goes on till 9 o'clock, I think, Jane,
Yeah.
the live music. That would be fantastic. Dennis, our own Dennis Cowan here, has arranged the bands, and they're going to be
Fantastic.
great. I think we've got Sticky Rhythms, let me think, the Huckster Band and Rock of the Pops, and Phil Way's going to be there as well. So there's going to be some good music going down there. You could get yourself some cockles and a bottle of wine and join us. Actually, there's going to be a bar as well, so you don't need to bring your bottle of wine, and join us down there for the music that night. That's great. What else have you got planned? Anything?
We
for
have a
us?
few things
For
coming
Selsey?
up. We have some breaking news, more or less breaking news anyway, as from a week or so ago. We are starting up a new coastal community team. A new coastal community team, the Peninsula Coastal Economy Team, will be created in the Manhood Peninsula to help boost the local economy. And this is following a successful bid to the government for £10,000. The new coastal team will be affiliated to the existing Manhood Peninsula Partnership and currently includes Chichester District Council, Selsey Town Council, East Wittering and Bracklesham Town Council and Selsey Business Partnership. It won't be looking at those organisations solely, but these are the people that we've been able to talk to
Yes.
to date. And the whole reason for having this team is to bring economic benefits to the Manhood Peninsula.
Oh, wonderful. We could do with some of that.
Well, yes, couldn't we all? Well, it's interesting, actually. This was a government-funded project, and what it is called the Coastal Community Teams Project or
Okay.
Fund. And what's happened is the government has provided more than £1 million to fund 104 coastal community teams on top of 12 existing pilots. And these take place around the country. So we are now part of another national scheme, which is fantastic because
Yes.
it means we're on a national map, not just a local map.
Yes.
And that always brings its benefits. The teams will be bringing together local businesses, councils and people, and will help coordinate regeneration projects in their area.
Such as what, Jane? What do you see?
Well, the sorts of regeneration projects that are being looked at in Selsey specifically are associated with Selsey Cinema. The new projects that we're looking at, and these are the projects on which between which the £10,000 is going to be split, and for which we also need additional funding. Is first of which is a feasibility study to investigate the costs and benefits of constructing a small harbour or haven in Selsey.
Yeah, that's an interesting project.
It most
that
certainly
one,
is.
isn't it?
It's one that's been in the air for a long time, but nobody's really had a chance to look at it.
I've looked at little bits. I've seen the drawings on the you can see the artist's view or impression if
there
you
was
like.
an artist impression that was put into Selsey Town,
Yeah.
sent into Selsey
I know,
Town
I've seen
Council
it.
a while ago. This isn't on the back of this project. Isn't on the back of
it's
that.
not. Okay.
No, it's
Sorry,
not.
I
This is
haven't then.
this is separate. What this is, it was a move by economic development to look at what the fishermen needed in Selsey.
And in view of the lifeboat coming down, the lifeboat station coming down, nothing to do with that. No.
Nothing to do with that. There again, lifeboat people, they're separate entities.
Okay.
What this will do, if it happens, is create a small harbour that will act to protect the fisheries,
Yes.
will act as a bit of an economic generator, not just in Selsey, but as a focus for tourism across the peninsula. And there should also be additional coastal defence benefits. But
Well,
we're
it's
still
already
looking at
pretty
all
down
that.
there. It's going to be very pretty, isn't it, when it's done? I see something like Poole Harbour. I don't know why I get that impression.
Very much.
but,
It has to be small. The place that we went to
very
look
small.
at, as an example, was Ventnor Haven on the Isle of Wight, and that was lovely.
Yeah.
And we want to reflect that sort of look. We don't want to build a massive concrete structure.
No.
That's completely out.
No.
What we'd be looking at is something that was a lot more low-key, much more in keeping with the area, more in keeping with what people want.
Fishing harbour.
That essentially, yes, absolutely.
Yes, lovely.
And to do that, there are many, many stages to go through before we even think about what it's going to look like. And in between now and then, there'll be lots of opportunity for public input.
Yes.
I'm
sure you're going to get a bit.
I have absolutely
I'm sure
no
you're
doubt.
going to get a bit of that.
Let's hope
So
we have
it's
some
good at
positive
that.
stuff as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm sure
that would
you
be
will.
Lovely.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
But as I say, very much in the air at the moment. The key point about it is that it will be a feasibility study.
Yes.
In other words, will it work?
Yes.
Can we even put one in there? And once we've reached that benchmark, then the decision can make as to whether or not to take it forward.
Yes.
But until then, it's just a case of having a look.
Okay,
seeing what we can do.
Yeah, get on with it.
Well,
I'd like to see a
instruction. Righty
Good, yeah.
ho, under instruction. The second project, which is also part of the Coastal Community Teams project, is to commission a report on demographics and employment in Selsey and East Wittering and Bracklesham. This is going to be something that draws the peninsula together. We're looking at demographics in the east and in the west.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
It is, most definitely.
I do think that Selsey and Wittering should become closer and do things more together than...
Well, both east and west of the peninsula has its own problems, and they're actually very similar when you look at them. And what this report will do, will look at the quality of employment opportunities, education and training, and, importantly, the impact of seasonality, and how this links to issues creating barriers to work, such as transport and childcare, and also accessibility of the workplace and skills. So hopefully local businesses will benefit, as will those involved with tourism.
Close a bit of that east-west divide.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can see the benefits of that, I really can. Well, Jane, anything else that you've got planned? Because you're a busy lady, you know. You seem to be a very busy lady.
Well, we're currently trying to get these last two moving. We want to get the Coastal Community Teams stuff moving. A great benefit of having received this money is that although we need to receive match funding in order to make these projects work, because we now have a Coastal Community Team, and I'll just repeat that name again, you're talking about the Peninsula Coastal Economy Team. The reason that this is important is that it will open up funding doors to other funds, one of which is a £50,000 share of a new 30 million coastal revival fund, which is looking at heritage. And there are other funds which are coming online later this year as well.
You see, it can only be for the good, can't it? All of
Well,
this
you'd hope
can only
so,
be for the
yes.
good. And this all started with one idea from somebody that just had this idea and got together with the Dutch lady. I'm sorry, her name. Yeah. So little things,
Local
big
residents.
trees and little acorns.
I think the important thing is that it was two local residents who asked the question who and why.
And then went and did something about it.
Yeah,
and that's the
absolutely.
key, isn't it? Don't just sit there asking why. Get and join them. Get and join them. That's the key to everything. Jane, thank you ever so much for coming in. It's been really interesting.
Many thanks, Lynn. It's been a pleasure to come here.
And now I know what you're all about, so that's good. Thank you very much.
Lynn, there is one more project that I'd like to tell you about.
Okay, Jane.
And, well, this should be a very constructive one for people in the east and the west of the peninsula.
Yes.
And it's a project, there again, it's being run by a subgroup of the Manhood Peninsula Partnership, but it's called GLAM.
Oh,
and that little
good.
acronym is Green Links Across the Manhood Peninsula.
Okay.
And what we're looking at here, are the quiet roads and the possibility for creating new footpaths, cycleways, bridleways that link the east with the west of the peninsula.
Yeah.
Because at the moment you can follow Salton's Way down the east side,
That's right.
down the west side rather, Bill
side.
Way down the west. There's not very much that links the two. What you do have now is Medmary, and part of the planning conditions for Medmary were to install paths. That's great. That means you can now get round Medmary, but we now need to link Medmary in with the east and with the west of the peninsula.
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
That's something the RSPB have been working very hard to achieve, and it looks as though they're going to achieve that in 2016 with the help of West Sussex County Local Committee South.
Yeah.
They'll be able to create a link in between Pagham and Medmary. Over toward the west, things are going a little more slowly, but there is a movement in progress. The other thing that the group is looking at, as I say, are the quiet links that already exist, those quiet roads, which perhaps visitors know less about, but locals are familiar with. And we want to promote the idea that, yes, you can get from east to west.
Yes.
Preferably off-road. Sometimes it's on-road, but these are the quiet roads on which to do it.
Lovely. So we're going to close that divide then.
I would sincerely hope
that sounds
so.
great.
We'll certainly make moves towards it.
I'd like to do a nice walk, I think, along that way. I would probably do that. Even me. I'd get out there and walk from, one part to another and have a good old time. Yeah.
Well, welcome once again to Keithy's Kitchen. Now, our first recipe for today will get the day off to a fine start, so this will do you for breakfast. Breakfast fit for a king. Toasted muffins with smoked salmon and lightly scrambled eggs. And what we need for this is 2 white breakfast muffins sliced in half, 4 medium free-range eggs, 200 grams of smoked salmon, a little bit more if like me you're rather partial to it, 1 tablespoonful of salted butter, 100 ml of semi-skimmed milk, a pinch of salt, some black pepper, half a lemon, 100 ml of extra virgin olive oil and some chives to garnish. And this is what we do. Preheat the oven to 200 degrees centigrade or 400 Fahrenheit, gas mark 6 in old money. Place the muffin slices on a baking tray and drizzle over the olive oil and place in the oven for about 10 minutes until they're nice and crisp and nicely browned. Melt the butter in a medium-sized saucepan and meanwhile mix the eggs, milk and salt in a bowl. Once the butter is completely melted, pour in the egg mixture and stir continuously using a scraping motion to ensure that the egg doesn't stick to the bottom. Now, a heat-proof spatula or spoonula is probably the best utensil for this job. As soon as the egg starts to thicken, remove from the heat. Now, you'll need to continue to stir as the egg will continue to cook. And whatever you do, don't leave them too long. There's nothing worse than rubbery scrambled eggs. Place 2 slices of toasted muffins on each plate, dollop on the eggs and top with a couple of slices of smoked salmon, a quick squeeze of lemon juice, a dash of pepper, and a sprinkling of chives if you're using them, and enjoy. Now, if you were to start the day with a couple of those and a glass of champagne, well, it couldn't get any better. Well, that's the first recipe for today. You'll have to excuse my voice, it's a little hoarse. Then again, of course, if we were in France, that'd probably be on the menu as well. And my next recipe is barbecued chicken salad. Now, what we need for this is quite a bit of stuff. It takes about 35 minutes or so to cook it all. But anyway, this is what we need. For the barbecue sauce, we need 2.5 tablespoonsful of tomato puree, 2 tablespoonsful of white wine vinegar, 1 tablespoonful of soy sauce, 4 teaspoons of light muscovado sugar, 1 tablespoon of golden syrup, 1 garlic clove crushed, 1/4 teaspoonful of smoked paprika, and 1/4 teaspoonful of mustard powder. And for the salad dressing, we want 4 tablespoonsful of olive oil, 2 tablespoonsful of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and a pinch of caster sugar. And for the salad, we want 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, 2 tablespoonsful of olive oil, 500 grams of new potatoes, such as red-skinned Roosevelt, and slice them lengthways into about 4 or 5 millimetre thick slices, and 100 grams of mixed salad leaves. And this is what we do. For the barbecue sauce, mix all the ingredients together in a small bowl and season with a little salt and pepper and just set to one side. Now for the salad dressing, whisk together the oil, lemon juice, Dijon mustard, sugar and some salt and pepper in a small bowl for the dressing and set aside. And for the salad, heat a griddle pan, lay the chicken breast on it on a medium heat with the skin side down first. Cook for about 8 minutes until nicely browned with the grill marks. Adjust the heat as you cook, as you don't want the chicken to burn. So lower it as necessary so it doesn't burn. Brush the chicken with more sauce as it cooks. Turn the chicken over and cook for another 3 minutes on medium to low heat until it's almost cooked. And brush any remaining sauce over the skin side of the chicken. Turn it over again and cook for a minute or two, maybe just a bit longer, just to cook and seal the sauce. And remove and set aside to rest. Now, while the chicken's having a break, having a rest, heat the oil in a large non-stick frying pan. Pat the potato slices dry with kitchen paper, then add them to the hot pan. If your pan isn't big enough for them not to be overcrowded, you'll find it easier to fry the potatoes in 2 batches, adding a splash more oil if needed. Fry for about 8 to 10 minutes on a medium-high heat, turning often until evenly brown and crisp, and then season with the salt and pepper. And to serve, slice the chicken thickly and pile the slices on 4 serving plates, pile the leaves and potatoes next to them, and drizzle a little dressing over each salad, and serve warm. I mean, how easy is that? Nice barbecued chicken salad, another one for the summer. And that's it for this week. See you again soon. Bye-bye now.
Yes, and welcome to another edition of Videowatch, the 15th Videowatch so far, so we're doing okay, and you are in the company of me, Dennis Cowan, and we shall, as always, be reviewing some old films, the DVDs we're talking about, and new DVDs. And we shall then go to the countdown of the top 20 and see where things have moved to or whether they've stayed where they are. And that's supplied by Steve Saunders at Reflex DVD in the High Street. And then just to even add a little bit more flavour, probably wine-type flavour, we go up the road to the Selsey off licence and find Andy smiling away as he points to another selection of rentable DVDs along with the special review. So there you are. This is what we've got this week. We begin with Hercules, and this is a 12 rating. It is 2014, a new take and edition of the Sword and Sandal saga. This time it stars Dwayne Johnson, looking as if he's come straight out of the American wrestling ring. He was in Journey 2, by the way, the follow-up to the Journey to the Centre of the Earth. This airs on the big budget side of things and has support from John Hurt, Ian McShane and Rufus Sewell, etc. The beginning opens up by using most of the creature effects rather quickly, which is a sad move despite the great sets. It does somehow concentrate on the battle scenes throughout, with some humour to establish the characters. It is an half-decent film, and at 94 minutes worth seeing, unless you're a bit fed up with the epics like this, remade again and again and again. Enough of that. We then go on to Trick or Treat, a sort of horror thing. It's 15 rated, 2007, and it stars Brian Cox, Dylan Baker and Anna Paquin. This horror flick is set on Halloween, yes, one of the best times. The trick and treating thing, but all doesn't go well, particularly at one house. There is a demon loose. There are 4 tales here, running side by side, involving a serial killer, a gruesome teen prank, werewolves and a vampire, or maybe not. But you'll have to watch it to find out. It runs in at 79 minutes and is a great-paced, well-acted film, so look out for this one. We now move on to a ghostly film called Deadline, and this is rated 15. It's 2009, starring Thora Birch, Brittany Murphy. Yes, the two of those. This is a quality ghost tale, thoughtfully made, with lots of suspense rather than gore, etc. It begins with a writer who retreats to an old Victorian house. Yes, I know what you're thinking. And before long, things start happening. Is something trying to tell her about the house's past, a dark deed, and is she in danger? It's creepy and it reels you in, and it's definitely worth seeing. We then move on to a film called The Experiment, which is rather hard to take. It's a bit of a tough film, and this is 15 rated, 2010. And it stars Forrest Whitaker and Adrian Brody. It's a brutal and unforgiving epic. This is where they get ordinary people to pose as guards and others as prisoners in a state prison situation, which is not real but becomes real. But all does not go well as power corrupts and reality is blurred, as volunteers slip into identities they little realised they had, and subject each other to things they didn't agree with prior to volunteering, showing you just about anyone can turn from being the mild-mannered Clark Kent into Hannibal Lecter within days. It is said that this experiment took place in actual fact, where 26 men agreed to see how one would react. Although sometimes not nice, it is engrossing, and I give you that warning. And we move on to Stay, which is 18 rated. One doesn't see many of those. It's 2006, it stars Naomi Watts, Ewan McGregor and Ryan Gosling. A student plans to commit suicide in 3 days. Henry says he's heard voices in his head and sees supernatural horror. His Dr. Sam, played by McGregor, must attempt to stop him for his own sake. Sam, with girlfriend Naomi Watts, begins to find themselves drawn into this horror which is becoming somewhat between life and death. Will they unravel the secret that lies behind the visions in time to save Henry? Well, it's quality acting, a mystery, a thriller, and worth seeing. We then move on to Flight Plan, which did awfully well, and this is 12 rated, so it's almost family stuff, starring Jodie Foster, Sean Bean. This was good the first time round, and it's the story of a 6-year-old girl who just vanishes on a plane. Is there something going on? As people on the board say, Julia, Jodie's daughter, was never on the plane. Jodie steps up the tension as she begins to believe that there is a plot on board and her daughter is still on the plane. Who has her and why? This is a good 94 minutes of angst, good acting and watching pleasure. We now move on to the top 20 as from the week beginning 27th of July, supplied by Steve Saunders at Reflex DVD and PCs, he likes to put in, of Selsey High Street. And at number 1, we have Home. At number 2, we have Woman in Black, which is going okay. It's moving off the shelf. And then we go to 3, The Gunman. At number 4, Jupiter Ascending. At number 5, we have The Seventh Son. At number 6, Wild Card. At number 7, The Boy Next Door. At number 8, Kingsman is there. Nice thriller, that one. At number 9, Taken 3, which I shall be reviewing shortly. And then at number 10, we have Insurgent. At number 11, Still Alice. At number 12, Unfinished Business. And at 13, we have Focus, which I think I've already discussed with Will Smith. It's a big con job with Margot Robbie, 2014. And then at 14 we have Last Night, which is the sword and sandal stuff battle with Clive Owen and Morgan Freeman at 113 minutes. And then at 15 we have that 50 Shades of Grey. And then at 16 we have Voices. At 17 we have Kill the Messenger. At 18 we have Chappie, and Chappie is a 2015 film starring Sigourney Weaver and Hugh Jackman. It is said to be directed by the guy who did District 9, and this is a sci-fi film in the future in which there is a mechanized police force dealing with crime. And there is one police android called Chappie, and he is stolen and reprogrammed, and it becomes a threat and has to be done away with. And then at number 19 we go to Cake. At 20, The Loft. So there we have it. That's what we get down at Reflex DVD. So remember, at Reflex DVDs, they have accessories for audio and PCs, etc. There is the 5, 6, 7 Club, 6 films, over 7 nights for £5, but only from the back catalogue. Right, now we go up the road to Andy's at the Selsey off licence, and we deal with a film called Contagion. And this is rated 12, 2011, starring Jude Law, Kate Winslet and Matt Damon. It's about a lethal virus that has gone airborne and has the power to wipe out humankind, of course. And then panic ensues and it must be controlled. It's described as an edge-of-your-seat thriller. 102 minutes of society falling apart. Also stars Lawrence Fishburne and Gwyneth Paltrow. We come to another film on his shelves called Foxcatcher 15, 2014 film, starring Steve Carell and Channing Tatum. Story-wise, it is set in 1988 Seoul Olympics and sees John DuPont, who invites Olympic wrestling star Mark Schultz to form a team, which leads down a shady path, and Team Foxcatcher. And with brother in the mix, the three are propelled towards an event that will change their lives forever. And then we move along his shelves to a PG-rated thing, 2011, called Mitty, starring Ben Stiller. It's a man who disappears into the world of fantasies where truth and dreams collide. Ben Stiller is Walter Mitty, a guy who finds adventure and has the courage to follow what he believes, even if it comes from daydreaming. So we have that. And we come to the reviewed film at Andy's, which is Taken 3. And this is at number 9 in the top 20, as we had revealed. This film is starring Liam Neeson in his third outing as ex-CIA man Brian Mills. And in this one, he is accused of the murder of his ex-wife. The co-stars are Famke Janssen and Forrest Whitaker. And for those who want more violent action, you'll be happy to know that this DVD provides the longer version of 110 minutes as opposed to the sedate theatrical cut of 104 minutes, so there's 6 minutes there to gain. It is, of course, wham bam with plenty of action, car stuff. Oh, yes, things that really hit off in this film. The idea behind this third instalment works quite well, as it incorporates the decision to who do you choose as the murderer when there are two factions trying to remove Brian Mills, and why. Forrest Whitaker plays the intelligent cop, of course, who smells a rat and decides there's more to it. But his hands are tied. His bosses say he must go after Mills. Leeson, in other words. So to just round this up at Andy's Selsey off licence, don't forget the bin end with 2 wines for just £10. And remember, 4 wines in the taster cabinet, and you can taste before buying. And look at that wine chart. We've run out of time again. Well, that ends another week of Videowatch. So join next week again for another batch of video reviews, when I shall be looking at the top 20 and the film reviews, of course. So join me again for much more of this on number 16.
And that just leaves me to say a great big thank you to Cunningham for coming in, and to the production, stroke sound, stroke presentation team, which is John Fletcher, Dennis Cowan, Lynnette Reeve, and from me, Keith Barnes, saying goodbye for now. See you again soon. Bye-bye now.